Today, we're going to talk about a story that's just incredible in its scale. We're going to start with the very human story of a patient with a heart defect, then zoom all the way down to the single cell that actually holds the key, and then come all the way back out to see a revolutionary new cure.
So to really get why this matters, you have to start with this one number, 1 in 100. That's how many people are affected by congenital heart defects. That's right, it's the most common type of birth defect there is, touching millions of families all across the globe.
You know, behind a number that big, there are always real people, real stories. And this quote from the Gaston family really captures the heart of it. It's a journey that's all about courage and this relentless fight for a better future. This is the human face of the science we're about to dive into.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning, right? What are we really talking about here? What exactly is a congenital heart defect? And why has it been such a tough, lifelong challenge for so many?
Well, in the simplest terms, congenital heart disease, or CHD, just means there's a problem with the heart structure, and it's there from the moment you're born. This isn't something that develops later in life, it's a fundamental issue baked into the heart's original blueprint.
You see, for decades, the only options were things like surgery or just managing the symptoms. But to find a real cure, scientists knew they had to completely change their perspective. They had to go smaller, zooming past the organ, past the tissue, all the way down to the most fundamental level you can get. The single cell.
And you know what? When they finally got that close, what they found was, well, it was astonishing. The problem inside a diseased heart isn't just about its structure. It's a full-blown energy crisis happening on a microscopic scale.
All right, so the fancy scientific term for this is cardiac metabolic reprogramming. I know, it's a mouthful, but you can think of it like this. When it's under stress, a diseased heart cell basically panics. It completely rewires its own internal power plant for how it makes and uses fuel.
Okay, check this out. A healthy heart cell, it's like a super efficient hybrid engine. It gets almost all its power. We're talking up to 90% from burning fat. But a diseased cell, it panics and switches to a really inefficient backup generator that burns sugar instead. This backup system is way less efficient, and it creates this huge power deficit. It's kind of like trying to run an entire city with just a handful of AA batteries. It's just not going to work.
And this energy crisis, it causes some really devastating problems. It's not just that the heart is starved for power. The inefficient process also creates all these toxic byproducts. And that buildup kicks off this vicious cycle of damage that just weakens the heart muscle more and more over time.
So finding this out is a massive breakthrough, right? But it brings up a huge question. How on earth can you actually see this happening inside one teeny tiny cell? Well, to do that, you need a brand new microscopic toolkit.
I mean, seriously, think about it. The human heart has billions of cells. Trying to pinpoint this energy problem in just one of them, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But it's not. The answer, it turns out, is something called the Multiomics revolution. And it's basically this amazing suite of technologies that lets scientists look at a single cell from every possible angle. You've got transcriptomics, which tells you which genes are switched on. Then epigenomics shows you how those genes are being controlled. Metabolomics, that tracks the actual fuel the cell is using. And get this, spatial transcriptomics creates a literal map, showing you exactly where that cell is. It's incredible.
Here's a good way to think about it. It's like instead of just seeing a broken down car on the side of the road, you suddenly have the car's original blueprints, the complete parts list, the step-by-step instruction manual, and a GPS tracker on every single nut and bolt. You get this absolutely complete picture of what went wrong.
Okay, so we get the problem now, and we have the tools to see it. So what's next? How do we actually fix it? Well, this is where we start building a solution, literally cell by cell.
And this, right here, is where the science just gets mind-blowing. It all starts with the patient. You take a tiny skin sample. Then, those skin cells get reprogrammed. They're basically turned back in time to become these super powerful stem cells. From there, scientists give them new instructions, guiding them to become healthy, new, beating heart muscle cells. And finally, they grow billions of them to create this brand new, living heart tissue.
And I want to be clear, this isn't some far-off, futuristic idea. The progress here has been absolutely staggering. Just look at this. In 2015, they could maybe make 100,000 cells. A few years later, 4 million. By 2019, 300 million. And by 2023, 3 billion cells from a single sample. That kind of explosive growth tells you this is moving out of the lab and into the real world fast. And here's the most important part. Because this new tissue is made from the patient's own cells, it's a perfect genetic match. There's zero risk of the body rejecting it. The whole idea is to deliver this patch of new, healthy muscle right back into the patient's heart to strengthen the areas that were weakened by that energy crisis.
So what does all this mean for the future? Well, it's not just a new treatment we're looking at. It's a whole new way of thinking about medicine itself. It's personal, it's precise, and it's built from the ground up, one cell at a time.
Yeah, that old one-size-fits-all model of medicine, we're leaving it behind. We are now stepping into an era where a cure can be literally manufactured from your own body, tailored specifically for you, right down to your DNA.
And the goal here is, well, it's incredibly ambitious. They're not just trying to manage the disease. As this mission statement from HeartWorks puts it so perfectly, the goal is an actual cure, a future where children and adults with CHD can just look forward to a future without it.
So this whole journey, right, from the patient down to the particle and all the way back again, it really boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. By understanding the heart's problem at the tiniest possible level, we can now engineer the solution at that exact same level. And that just leaves us with this one final, kind of awe-inspiring thought. For so long, we thought of the heart as this really complex, almost untouchable machine. But what if the secret to fixing the whole thing wasn't about the machine at all? What if it was about understanding and then rebuilding its smallest, most fundamental piece, a single cell?